You're so hypnotic, magical. Don't wanna let you know you're so hypnotic, magical. Don't wanna let you know you're so hypnotic, magical. You're so hypnotic, magical. Don't wanna let you know you're so hypnotic, magical. Wanna let you know you're so hypnotic, magical.
Tufts University Jumbos. Now here are tonight's starting lineups. First for the Bowdoin College Cougars, leading off and playing right field, number 19, Lucas Sickle. Batting second, the designated hitter, number 2, Will Gordis. Batting third and playing first base, number 27, Kevin Murray. Batting cleanup and playing left field, number 28, Lucas Chai. Batting fifth and playing third base, number 16, Liam Foley. Batting sixth and catching, number 18, Chris Dirks. Batting seventh and playing shortstop, number 10, Will Cook. Batting eighth and playing second base, number 1, Connor Moriarty. And batting ninth and playing center field, number 4, Cal Thompson. Starting pitcher for Bowdoin tonight will be number 3, Yuka McCurley Coronado. And the head coach of the Polar Bears is Mike Conley. And now for your Tufts University Jumbos, leading off and playing second base, number 2, Jesse McCullough. Batting second and playing left field, number 10, Ben Leonard. Batting third and playing third base, number 19, James Henshin. Batting cleanup and playing right field, number 3, Cooper Smith. Batting fifth, the designated hitter, number 16, Max Pavlik. Batting sixth and catching, number 26, Connor Brawa. Batting seventh and playing first base, number 34, E.J. Lisco. Batting eighth and playing center field, number 7, Henry Fleckner. And batting ninth and playing shortstop, number 12, Ozzie Fleischer. Starting pitcher for the Jumbos tonight will be number 9, Jacob Lapp. And the head coach of the Jumbos is Brian Stark. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we ask you to please rise, remove your caps, and direct your attention to the flag in right center field as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem.
Oh, see, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, see, does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave.
It is a Monday, April 14th, and spring has finally arrived here at Saul Gittleman Park.
Welcome in here, everybody, to Medford, Massachusetts. Well, it was a long and cold winter, but we're finally starting to see the other side here. An idyllic day, perfect for a ball game here on Saul Gittleman Field as the Tufts Jumbos look to take the rubber match here in a 3-game series postponed from yesterday on what was supposed to be their senior day here against the Bowdoin College Polar Bears. I'm Noah Goldstein, joined to my left. Pleasure as always, Sub Gold. And Sub, I just want to hear a little bit about what went down in the first two, splitting two on Friday here today in two very different matchups between the Jumbos and the Polar Bears.
Yeah, absolutely, Noah. Pleasure to be on the broadcast today. We saw this weekend there was a lot of rain, a lot of cold temperatures, a lot of very gloomy weather, so a lot of postponed games, canceled games. But we're going tonight after having last played 3 days ago, really, on Friday. It was a doubleheader, Tufts Bowdoin. 2 games. First one, 8-0 finish in favor of Bowdoin. Tufts could really not get anything going that day. We saw an immaculate pitching performance from Jason Bogdanos on Bowdoin. 7 innings, 7 hits, 3 strikeouts, a walk. Tufts pitcher Silas Reed got roughed around a little bit. There was some defensive miscues, a couple of errors for Tufts. Game 2, however, was all about the Jumbos. Connor Pedez was the starting pitcher. It took a no-hitter into the 8th inning. We saw some big hits from players on Tufts like outfielder Ben Leonard, getting him back into his early season ways. Tufts was able to come out with a 6-2 victory.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of pitching, today it'll be Jacob Lapp for the Jumbos, number 9 out of Brockton, Massachusetts. He's a junior. So far this season, he's got a 3.72 ERA, good for 10th in the NESCAC. He's allowing a batting average of 220. That's 5th in the NESCAC. He's been very impressive so far, and he'll be looking to replicate some of his strong play here today as we get set to get going here on Saul Gittleman Field. It'll be Ruben Siegel leading it off for Bowdoin.
Ruben Siegel comes into the night as the number 3 base stealer in the NESCAC. We've seen some good play from him this weekend so far. An RBI in Game 2 and 2-for-5 performance in Game 1 with an RBI as well.
See if he can keep it going as Lapp gets us started here. That one taken in there, strike 1. Good pitch, caught the outside corner for Jacob Lapp.
Jacob Lapp has had a bit of a bipolar season. 5 starts so far. This is number 6 tonight. His last one out, 9 innings, 1 earned run.
Siegel takes a close one. That caught some of the plate according to our home plate umpire. Lapp quickly ahead 0-2 here.
Lapp's last start against Amherst, it was a complete game with just the 1 hit after a previous 2 runs.
And they're about as good of a start as you can get. Got Siegel on 3 pitches, got him swinging with the high heat to start it off here.
Yeah, that's great to see from Jacob Lapp. He has a bit of a strikeout in his game before last time out against Amherst. He had 6 his previous start against Bates, where he took the loss, though did put up 7 solid innings.
Lapp, a guy who started in the bullpen last season and only really started going long innings at the end of last season. So here, that one's fouled back by Will Bordes, a junior out of Groton, Massachusetts. He's been hot so far, both in this series and this season overall.
Yeah, Will Bordes really having a breakout year. We've seen him at the plate average well above 350. He had a 4 RBI performance in Game 1 this weekend.
That 4-for-5 in the first game of the doubleheader on Friday was his only time with a hit in the last 5 games. So Bordes looking to keep some momentum going here in what's been a little bit of a cold streak besides that one game. Here, though, down 0-2 again early. There, swings through one, bounces it to left, and it'll be foul. Henshin was after it at third. So if you're Lapp here, what do you go for?
Got the 0-2 count. Worked last count, or the last batter with the high heat. I think go right back there.
We'll see what he looks for as he delivers the 0-2. He's outside, taking ball 1 by Bordes.
Yeah, looks like Lapp took the opposite of my suggestion there, going for a bit of a slider in the opposite batter's box.
They're going for another off-speed pitch, and that was a beauty. Sets down Bordes on strikes. Back-to-back strikeouts here so far for Jacob Lapp, who's not messing around.
Yeah, Jacob Lapp early in this one showing a great command of all portions of the strike zone. We saw him up, away, and there we go, down and in on the right-handed batter.
And it's an interesting approach here so far for these Bowdoin hitters. They really just coming out early, trying to swing the bat and getting down in the count on both at-bats so far. We see it again here with Kevin Murray, who steps up the first baseman, swinging and fouling one back. Go down 0-1 here, as Lapp is really just trying to challenge these batters early, and so far, so good.
Kevin Murray was held to an 0-for-4 in Game 2 on Friday. Did finish 2-for-3 with an RBI Game 1.
There, ropes one into right. Back to the wall goes Smith. That one is out of here. A home run for Kevin Murray. That's his 6th on the season. And the Polar Bears, after not having much in the first 2 at-bats, turn this one totally on its head. A solo shot to right for Kevin Murray.
Yeah, Kevin Murray, one of the strongest raw power hitters in the NESCAC. He sits 2nd in home runs, only behind Nicosian of Middlebury with his 6th home run of the year. He's not necessarily the biggest contact threat on the team, but he's got pop like no one else.
And that one, correct me if I'm wrong, he was in the right-handed batter's box there. I think we call that an oppo taco.
That certainly was. And not only that, he was able to get it over that high wall above the jumbo sign in right field.
Such an impressive piece of hitting. And with that, Murray has tied his home run total from last year, 6 on the year. Stepping up here, Lucas Tsai trying to keep it going for the Polar Bears.
Yeah, Lucas Chai, another one of the heavy hitters on the team.
Chai swings and connects with that one. That one's headed for the right field gap as well. Bounces, one hop off the wall. Tsai rounding first. He'll be into second safely with a double. And this Polar Bears offense has come alive here.
Lucas Chai right there, picking up his third double of the year. He's more of a contact hitter with a lot of singles, helping him hit a high batting average that will now go up from what was 347. Great to see him using that right center field gap. And Bowdoin Polar Bears are going to have a runner in scoring position.
Yeah, great start here for the Polar Bears. And licking his lips there is the third baseman, Liam Foley. He's going to try to bring Chai all the way home. There, it takes a strike down at the knees from Lap. Foley, who started this year really hot, was hitting up over 400 coming into April. He's only 3 hits in his last 22 at-bats, though, been cooling down a little bit. But here, high leverage situation to try to bring in another run for the Polar Bears, whose offense, as we said, really found a flame here. There, it takes one low and inside.
Yeah, I mentioned the current cold stretch for Foley, Game 2 on Friday, finished 0 for 4 with a whole lot of ground outs. Game 1, however, he did get in the hit, an RBI column, 1 for 3, 2 RBI, and a walk.
There, it takes one outside. Good patience from Foley. So far, something we haven't seen too much from the Polar Bears in the batter's box. It'll be 2-1.
Yeah, I think Jacob Lapp's rhythm is a little bit thrown off here after he got those 2 strikeouts to start the inning so quickly. And then kind of shocked with that Kevin Murray home run.
Foley takes the 2-1, but that one's low. It'll be ball 3. Way ahead for Foley here, and you wonder what he's going to try to do here. Good spot to try to bring home Chai, you got to think.
Yeah, I think Lapp is willing to take the base on balls here and not necessarily just give him a meatball down the middle.
Definitely don't want to get hurt too bad here for Jacob Lapp. He delivers, swung on and fouled toward the right field line by Foley. It'll be a full count.
Who's on color over there? Can you get the volume up? Jamie says you're wicked quiet.
3-2 with 2 outs will mean runner is in motion.
Chai certainly rearing to go as Lapp delivers way inside. That's taken for ball 4. And the Polar Bears get another one on here as Lapp struggling to get through the end of the first here after looking so positive through the first 2 batters.
Yeah, but like I mentioned, Noah, I think a base on balls in that situation for Jacob Lapp is not the worst case scenario. Foley's the type of hitter who could have easily driven a ball into the gaps anywhere in the outfield, which would have scored Lucas Chai right there. Instead, gets another hitter and a chance for an out with a new force set up at third and second base.
For Jacob Lapp, that was only his 4th walk on the season. He's pitched 29 innings so far in 5 separate games. Only 3 walks coming into this one. There registers a 4th, and the Polar Bears continue threatening, but I think it's a good point that you made that definitely could have been worse.
The hitter now is Chris Dirks, the catcher.
Dirks lines one into left. That one just found the foul side of the outfield line there. Dirks will reset here for an 0-1.
Dirks is a 239 hitter with a 743 OPS, so one of the weaker overall offensive threats on the Bowdoin offense on the year that has been so potent. Last year, however, you could make an argument he was the 3rd best player on the team, so we definitely know he's got a lot of talent with the bat.
The 0-2 from Lapp as both runners looking to go. That one's popped up by Dirks. Over for it goes Henshin. He's looking up at it. He got it. That'll end the inning here, but not damage-free as Murray's solo shot puts the Polar Bears up 1-0 here on Gittleman. We'll take a break and be right back here on JumboCast. here, back step up the Jumbos as we welcome you back here on JumboCast. Facing Luca McCurley-Coronado, it'll be McCullough leading off, Ben Leonard hitting after him, Henshin, then Cooper Smith in cleanup. Max Pavlik will follow him. Connor Bralla, AJ Lisko, Fleckner in the lineup, rounded out by Ozzie Fleischer. On the bump for Bowdoin, as we mentioned, Luca McCurley-Coronado. He delivers one. That one swung on and lined into right base hit on the first pitch he saw for Jesse McCullough, reaching base here for the Jumbos.
Yeah, Luca McCurley-Coronado, pitcher for Bowdoin. This is start number 4 on the year for him, though he has been used out of the bullpen as well. This is sort of a strategy that Bowdoin and their coach Connolly love to do. A lot of mixing, starting, and relieving pitchers. Last time out for McCurley-Coronado, 7 innings against Trinity. 1 earned run, 5 hits, 6 strikeouts, so he'll look to get more of that tonight.
Stepping up and taking one outside here, Ben Leonard.
Ben Leonard, the left fielder, senior player, got off to a fantastic start this year, starting the season 18 for 36. That's a .500 batting average before entering a very cold stretch, though he did get a home run on Friday, so great sign for him.
Yeah, went 2 for 4 in his last game with that solo shot, as you mentioned. Batting average still around 300, as you mentioned. He hit 600 through his first 10 at-bats and kept it going really through a lot of the back half of March. And it was around then when it started to drop off a little bit, but it looks like Ben Leonard could be getting his bat back just when the Jumbos need it here down the stretch of the season. There. Good layoff by Leonard as that one looked close. It'll be 3-0. He's way in control here for Tufts.
Big lead for McCullough over on first base.
Leonard takes that inside. It'll be ball 4. He takes his 5th walk of the season, and the Jumbos get 2 on here early. That sound can only mean one thing here. That's James Henshin, the rookie out of Wellesley, stepping up for the Jumbos. He's been swinging the bat well this series, 4 for 6 with 3 doubles so far through the 2 games, and he was really the Jumbos' best player in the first game. There, takes one low and outside, ball 1 from McCurley-Coronado.
Also, that walk right there for Ben Leonard was number 21 on the season for him. That has him in second place in the NESCAC, only behind Evan Diaz of Wesleyan. So even when the bat isn't necessarily being swung at the level he would like to see, he can still get on base.
There, that one's up the middle, and it got through. Base hit for Henshin. That'll score McCullough, and the Jumbos tie it up here. A great start here for Tufts as they've put all 3 on the bases and brought one home already here. We got a 1-1 ball game, and McCurley-Coronado in some trouble early.
So great for the Tufts Jumbos to see more production out of James Henshin, the freshman. He went 4 for 6 on Friday with a couple of walks, a couple of runs, did not knock any runs in. But sort of a theme of the year for Tufts has been a lack of production of underclassmen. So seeing Henshin get hot is a great sign.
Stepping up, Cooper Smith. That one's in as well for a base hit. Rounding third is Leonard. He'll come in to score. Smith stops at second. And the Jumbos ahead here with a fire start. They go ahead 2-1 and still threatening. Now 2 runners in scoring position for Max Pavlik.
Yeah, this is such an amazing sign for the Tufts Jumbos. Right here, the top of the first inning, we saw a little bit of fatigue on the pitching side, which is not an amazing sign, but the offense has come roaring out right here. All of the middle of order hitters doing exactly what they need to do. A lot of contact, all sides of the park. Extra bases on the last bat, and Pavlik, a dangerous threat at the plate as he fouls one off to the right.
These Jumbos looking to jump on McCurley-Coronado here early, and so far they have. Going after the first and second pitches, it seems like we barely had a moment to breathe here, Seb, as they're just jumping on pitches. Pavlik was looking to do the same there.
Yeah, it really does, Noah. And Max Pavlik on the year has been, again, one of the better hitters on Tufts. At the weekend, 2 for 7 with a couple of RBIs. That came on an RBI single.
There, though, grounds one to second. They will get the out at first. Coming home to score will be Henshin, and the Jumbos put up a third here in the first.
Yeah, a much-needed first out for McCurley-Coronado and the Polar Bears. However, they did have to sacrifice another run getting the Jumbos in front 3-1. So it's a productive out.
Stepping up the catcher, Connor Brella, for the Jumbos.
Bralla did not play game 2. Game 1 on Friday, 0-for-3 with a strikeout.
Another player who's been going through a little bit of a rough patch here towards the back end of the season. Only 3 hits in his last 8 games. That has only been 12 at-bats, but certainly not the production he'd be hoping to see. See here, McCurley Coronado sets for the 0-1. That one plunked Barolo on the back. A tough one to take up there by the neck, but he'll find himself on first base there as McCurley Coronado surely lost that one coming out of the palm.
Yeah, not the first time Barala has had that happen to him this year. That is hit by pitch number 4 on the season. So definitely a painful feeling, but a feeling that he is used to and he will take for his team.
And, you know, as much as you hate to see it, for somebody who's not been as offensively productive as maybe he hopes to be recently, getting hit by pitch might not be the worst thing. At least you end up on base and you can make something happen on the base pass for your team.
Yeah, and that hit by pitch also looks like it set up a mound meeting with the Bowdoin coaching staff and the entire infield. Yeah, McCurley Coronado not looking great out of the gate tonight. We mentioned his last start against Trinity where he looked fantastic, 7 innings, just the 1 run. Already allowed 3 so far today, and it's the Tufts Jumbos. They've been able to get their hits off of him in a couple different ways. We've seen them, jumping early in that bats. We've seen them waiting a little bit longer right there. They're able to get a base runner through the hit by pitch. So maybe those command issues can be addressed in that meeting.
And they're not exactly jumping on him, for huge hits. Like we saw a home run and a double for Bowdoin. It's really just been it seems like they're seeing the ball up pretty well, hitting for contact, and they're smoking them right through the infield here, making really good contact so far are the Jumbos. And McCurley Coronado maybe has to switch up the approach. You wonder what Coach Connolly told him during that mound visit. There he's able to deliver a strike to Henry Fleckner.
Henry Fleckner did not play game 2 on the weekend. Game 1, again, an 0-for-3.
There, it takes a big hack and just swings right through it. Excuse me, this is A.J. Lisco, I believe, for the Jumbos, number 34. Fleckner is in the on-deck circle.
Lisco went 1-for-5 on the weekend. He had a walk.
And here he fouls one back right our way, fighting here down 0-2.
Definitely a welcome sign for Coach Connolly and all of the Polar Bears to see McCurley Coronado get ahead in an at-bat, which is not something he's done really so far this inning.
I think that's a great point, and also he's thrown more pitches in this at-bat than ever before, at least Lisco having a little bit more trouble seeing up what he's throwing. And there gets the punch out down at the knees. Lisco didn't exactly like it, but he'll take it as McCurley Coronado gets the second out in this inning through the K.
Yeah, great at-bat right there from Coronado. McCurley Coronado, that is. Definitely listen to whatever he was told by the coaching staff, because it's rare you see a mound meeting immediately switch up a pitcher's performance that quickly, but that's exactly what happened there.
And there, Lisco just seemed a little bit off balance. Back when we were calling him Henry Fleckner, he took that big hack, came up with nothing, and then on that last pitch, just looked at it all the way, couldn't get the bat off his shoulder. So here's the real Henry Fleckner stepping up. He takes ball 1 and is ahead in the count early with runners on the corners here for the Jumbos and 2 outs.
Yeah, Henry Fleckner on the year. It's been a bit of a struggle. 235 average, 588 OPS. So that one misses well outside. Disappointing definitely to see it from Fleckner this year after such a terrific season last year when he went for a 3.53 batting average in 41 games, 4 home runs, 34 RBIs, OPS up around 900.
This is a guy who's been one of the Jumbo's most experienced players, playing as a senior, playing basically all 3 years, though. And with a career average over 300, you got to think that he's going to be looking to get it going here in the late part of the season when they need him the most. These are the players that tend to come through, the players that have been here before. They've gone through slumps, and they know how to turn it around. Here he's way ahead of the count on McCurley Coronado 3-0 with a chance to load the bases. Takes one. That one finds the zone as 3-1 here. You wonder if Fleckner was given the red light as that one came right over the plate.
Yeah, definitely taking all the way right there as that one just sort of sailed across the plate. Definitely would have been a nice lazy pitch to hit into the outfield, but that's not what he chose to do right there.
Fleckner, that one pretty well low and outside, and the bases will be loaded up here for the shortstop, Ozzie Fleischer, as the Jumbos look to pack on more runs here in a 3-1 ballgame.
Yeah, we mentioned Fleckner's struggles on the season. Fleischer, the defensive wizard at shortstop, has really struggled at the plate offensively. 192 batting average, OPS sitting at .471 on the year. He is a grad student. And it was a bit disappointing, again, to see from him this year after he came back for a second season, or for a grad season. And that will be the end of McCurley Coronado's night. Goes out in the first inning.
And, McCurley Coronado got in some hot water there, and Coach Colley thinking he can't mess around anymore. Such a crucial game for the NESCAC standings. We're looking at number 1 and number 2 in the NESCAC East Division here, and the rubber match here in the series. You got to think that Coach Colley willing to do whatever it takes to limit the damage here, as the Jumbos have pounced early, about to bat around should Fleischer get on base here. And it doesn't get that much bigger than this. A chance to blow the game wide open for Ozzie Fleischer, who in his career has been a pretty good hitter versus Bowdoin, batting .405, more than pretty good, even very good. That was .441 coming into the series. He did go 0 for 3 in the game that he played on Friday, but last year he was 5 for 11 in this matchup, 2 runs and 1 RBI, and he's been hot versus the Polar Bears, hoping to channel that here as he steps up with the bases loaded.
And the new pitcher coming on for Bowdoin is a freshman, Alistair Rose, out of Needham, Mass. Rose makes his 7th appearance on the year. He has sort of been used in this long relief role throughout the season, has had some success, posting a .442 ERA with a solid 120 whip. He is 1-1. Has also picked up 15 strikeouts in 18 innings, so he's definitely got a bit of a threat of the punch-out.
And a guy who can go the long innings, as Bowdoin will probably hope to send him out there for a pretty long time. In his last outing versus Bates, went 4 innings. Earlier in the season versus Penn State, Altoona went 6.1. So you got to be thinking that Coach Colley looking for at least 3 or 4 innings of relief out of this guy after he had to send his starter back to the dugout early.
For sure, and as we alluded to on the open, a big difference in the coaching strategies of Brian Stark of Tufts and Mike Connolly of Bowdoin is how they use their pitching staff. Tufts is a lot more traditional starting pitching, relief pitching idea with really 3 main starters that cycle through each other and then a host of relievers, whereas Bowdoin, it's a lot more just kind of feeling out the matchups, feeling out every night. Pitchers, nobody on the team has not come, no pitcher on the Bowdoin team has not a relief appearance on the year. And what that means is for starting pitchers like McCurley Coronado, who actually himself has made half of his appearances out of the bullpen, he also has had many appearances with just 1 inning, 2 innings. So might seem a little shocking, a little jarring to see a coach take his starting pitcher out before finishing an inning. But if you know Mike Connolly, you know that's not necessarily out of the realm of possibility.
This is a staff that's been so good as well for Bowdoin. Second in the NESCAC with a 3.42 ERA overall. As Fleischer takes a ball low, 1-0 here. Also second in the NESCAC with a 2.16 batting average allowed. So the staff has been so good for the Polar Bears so far, and maybe not used to so much being down in holes like this as they find themselves right now. That one a looping pitch, pretty slow, found the top of the zone there, and Fleischer looking a little surprised, takes a look back at the dugout.
So quickly up 0-2, so great to see for Bowdoin, for Alistair Rose.
The 0-2 from Rose is inside but swung on and fouled off by Fleischer. It'll stay 0-2 as Rose looks to end this inning here and limit the damage for Bowdoin.
You know, I have to say, Noah, somebody named Alistair in 2025, that's pretty cool. I mean, that's a good name.
It's a classic name.
Alistair Rose sounds like a
as I would venture is Ozzy Fleischer.
Ozzy
here.
Fleischer.
That's another great name. There, Ozzy takes one outside. They thought about running there from third with Smith, but he held up.
Yeah, that was actually Fleischer himself holding his teammate back at third base.
I think he made the right decision there. Just checking up to see that Dirks got back on it. You know, should that one have bounced a little bit differently off the wall, it could be 4-1 here. Jumbo's maybe a little bit fortunate here at the Gittleman backstop as Fleischer, a wayward swing at that one, and Rose able to set him down on strikes. And the Polar Bears get out of this one without ceding too much more hurt, although they do go down 3-1 here in the bottom of an entertaining first inning, as Lapp will come back to work here in the top of the second. We'll be right back. Coming back up is Will Cook as he pounces on the first pitch. An athletic play at second, but threw him off the bag. That one surely will be scored as a base hit, as McCullough tried his best there for something like Derek Jeter at second. As we take a look at the Polar Bears lineup, Siegel leading off, he struck out, as did Bordas. Second, it was Kevin Murray who hit that home run. After that, Lucas Chai, a double. Foley popped out. We just saw Dirks reach on a single. It'll be Cook, Moriarty, and finishing it off, Cal Thompson for the Polar Bears.
Yeah, and we saw on that play an incredible defensive effort from Jesse McCullough, coming over from the right side of second base, all the way over really to the shortstop's position over there. And we saw, as part of Connor Pedezwa's no-hit bid on Friday, McCullough also made a phenomenal diving stop to his right side to temporarily save that bid, as the pickoff attempt will be made.
That was a fantastic play by Jesse McCullough back on Friday. Really athletic dive, one that we don't see too much. There, though, I think that play we just saw maybe even tougher, as he had to go a full 180 and deliver that one on a dime. I can't blame him for missing out on that one. That one finds the zone as Lapp here, up to 2 strikes early.
Yeah, again, as we saw in the first inning, Lapp got off to a great start with the couple of punch-outs before allowing the home run, a double, and getting out of the inning.
Moriarty there looks at one on the outside of the plate. Ump saw that it caught some, and that'll be strike 3. Lapp sets another one down via the strikeout, his third on the game.
Beautiful pitch from Lapp, going with the heat on the outer edge of the plate, able to paint that corner up and away, as Cal Thompson will come to the plate. Thompson went 1 for 3 with an RBI in Game 2.
There, looked to lay down the bunt, tried to pull it back, but I don't think he was successful.
Yeah, Cal Thompson is the sophomore outfielder out of Hudson, Mass. Basically like this entire Bowdoin team out of our state right here.
Somewhat of a homecoming here for Thompson and many other players as Lapp checks back on first. Nothing doing, and it'll remain 1-0. Thompson, as you said, went 1 for 3 in game 2 of the doubleheader, was 0 for 3 in the first game, but he was the one that broke up Connor Pedezzo's no-hitter with that single to left. This time, pops one up, looking up at it. Our Lisco and McCullough. Lisco grabs it. That'll be the second out here.
Nice lazy pop-up induced by Jacob Lapp. And it's good to see his form after that infield hit really return to his form from the first 2 batters he faced today.
Siegel coming back up. He was set down on 3 pitches to start this one, but looking to amend that here and maybe more. Siegel definitely a dangerous player. There, another big hack and swings right through it.
Yes, Siegel, as we mentioned previously, the type of player, not necessarily the biggest offensive threat on the team, though he definitely has some pop in that bat. But once he gets on the base paths, he can fly. So keeping him from getting a hit or getting on base in the other way is very important.
There, made some nice contact, but it's right to Lisco at first. Lapp will get out of this one fairly painlessly. Polar Bears leave one on as it remains a 3-1 ball game here heading into the bottom of the second. Setting and delivering is Rose, the one I was looked at for make it 2-0 here for James Henshin, who went to Roxbury Latin here in Massachusetts. And I have a fact about Roxbury Latin. Founded in 1645, and it was the same school that James Otis went to. I'll tell you what James Otis is famous for after this pitch, as that one is a strike. He was the clergyman who came up with the phrase, "no taxation without representation." And nearly 4 centuries later, another great man, James Henshin, coming out and stepping up, driving one into center field. That'll be down for a base hit. Cool fact, though, right, Sub?
You know, if this was a video broadcast, the fine people watching our JumboCast show would be able to see my very expressive facial reaction to that fact.
Well, I thought it was interesting, and Henshin maybe got a little inspiration as well as he lined that one into center for his second single of the day, trying to tee up Cooper Smith. That one looped all the way around and found the inside corner for strike 1 from Rose. Cooper Smith, the transfer after his sophomore year from Northern Essex Community College, and he's been hot for the Jumbos so far this year. They're a leader in batting average, 330. He's got 31 hits on the season, as well as 15 RBIs. That's 4th in the NESCAC in terms of hits. As Rose checks back to first, Henshin on a dive makes it.
Yeah, Cooper Smith, we mentioned the high average and RBI counts, did not have a home run until game 2 on Friday night, where he was able to knock a solo shot over the fence for his first home run of the year. That was a great sight from him, because if he can get a power bat going as he fouls enough to the left side, there's really no holes left in his game. Truly a great asset for Tufts and a great pickup on the transfer market.
Here, Rose debating what to do on a 1-2 here. We got 2 outs and 1 on here for the Jumbos as Smith faces down Rose, who checks back to first. Henshin able to get back again on a head first dive, and Rose will set again.
Sun starting to set just a little bit here.
Rose, that one came inside, kind of hung, popped up into left center, and the play is made by Chide to end the inning. Jumbos leave 1 on as Rose works pretty easily through the lineup this time around, and he'll give the Polar Bears another chance to strike back when we come back. We welcome you back here on JumboCast as we take a look at this Jumbo's defensive lineup, looking to support Lap here in the outfield. Some usual suspects: Leonard, Smith, and Fleckner. First base will be Lisco. At second, McCullough. Third is Henshin. Shortstop, the Defensive Player of the Year, Ozzie Fleischer. Back behind the plate, Connor Brawl, and DHing is Max Pavlik. Yeah, that one swung on a great diving play by Henshin. He throws across. That's in time. What a play by James Henshin in the hot corner to make it there and retire the first batter from Bowdoin. Really impressive stuff.
Yeah, beautifully done by Henshin. They call it the hot corner for a reason. That was a rocket off the bat of Will Bordis, and was able to go all the way over to his side to get that diving stop. Long throw to first. Nails.
Up steps Kevin Murray, and Lap made sure to leave that one inside. Last time he left one over the plate, and Murray made him pay, as if you can't remember, he was one with the solo shot that gave the Polar Bears their only run so far on this one. Murray looking to generate some more offense here, as Lap maybe a little bit scared to give him something he can pounce on again after seeing the power in the first inning.
Yeah, you mentioned power. That was one of the most incredible feats of raw power I've seen in collegiate sports. That ball was belted over that high wall in right field. That swing right there looked like he was trying to do it again. Swing and a miss. Count will go 2-1. And there was not a doubt in the world about that ball going over that extremely high fence.
Good pitch there, though, from Lap, as it probably looked great coming over the plate and then just slid outside. Another good one there, and Lap's back even, 2-2. Jacob Lap setting and trying not to give up any more damage to Murray. That one swung on and missed. A heater from Lap, and he sets down Murray on strikes. Really impressive stuff by the Jumbo's ace.
Yeah, the scouting report on Murray is that of a power hitter. He's going to hit home runs. If he gets his bat on the ball, it's going pretty far, but he is definitely a threat to be struck out. That is his 18th strikeout on the year, which is second on the team, only behind Will Cook. And we saw that powerful swing. Sometimes powerful swing, it doesn't line up with the ball. That pitch misses outside.
Lucas Chai stepping up, who doubled back in the first and then was left on. He has an on-base percentage of .490, good for fifth in the NESCAC. And there, that one ran inside and up in him. It'll be 2-0. Chai 12 walks on the year and 10 stolen bases as well. Should he get on here, already in a pretty good situation as he faces down Lap with 2 outs. There, pops one up. Henshin looking up at it. That one looks like it'll fall outside the wall. So 2-1 here for Lap as he tries to set down the Polar Bears 1-2-3. And you gotta say, all things considered, been a pretty good outing for Jacob Lap so far.
Oh, absolutely. Now, we mentioned, of course, the home run, the really impressive home run at that, off the bat of Kevin Murray in the first inning. But other than that, and that one double from Lucas Chai, it's really just been just textbook star pitching.
There, that one finds the inside of the plate. 2-2 here.
That was some beautiful framing from the Tufts catcher. That's Connor Bralla behind the plate. Pitcher looked a little bit down and in, but he was able to carry it out over the middle of the plate and get the called strike.
The 2-2 is swung on and missed by Chai, and he's set down on strikes. That is Lap's fifth strikeout of the day, and he rolled through the top of the third there, setting down the Polar Bears 1-2-3. Really impressive work by Jacob Lap. And the Jumbos holding on to a strong 3-1 advantage. They'll have a chance to add to that when we come back. Max Pavlik stepping up here as we welcome you back on JumboCast. He took a ball inside there, taking again, but it's a strike from Rose, who's been working pretty well since he came in with the bases loaded in a tough situation. Done extremely well here for the Polar Bears.
You know, we ask you, the viewers of the broadcast today, if you could time travel to any period in history, what would it be, and why would it be Tufts Baseball NESCAC Championship in 2023?
Well, I would think I would go back to 1950. That was the year that Tufts came through in the College World Series to win it all. That would have been a special time, but a more recent NESCAC championship would be good. Members of this team, of course, remembering back to that one of them being Max Pavlik, who's up now.
That one is hit a mile high, will go foul off the bat of Pavlik. Count will stay full.
Havlik staring down Rose here as the payoff pitch comes and runs way inside. He'll get on with a walk, and the Jumbos put one on first early.
Great at bat right there from Max Pavlik. Walking has definitely not been his preferred method of reaching the bases this year. That's only his fourth on the season, but that was some great discipline there. Letting a few pitches go, fouling off a few that he didn't like, and eventually becoming a leadoff base runner, setting up Connor Brawler.
Brawler, who was hit in his first at bat. There, almost got him again. It did get him again. Connor Brawler, that one not entirely fast, but found a similar area there on the top of his back, and you wonder what's going on with his gravitational pull here today to attract yet another baseball right in the back. But nonetheless, the Jumbos get 2 on here with no outs.
Yeah, and as I mentioned the first time this happened to Brawl, he's not a stranger to be getting hit by the pitch, but 2 in a game, or 2 in consecutive bats, really, is definitely interesting. As
AJ
a late hack right there from AJ Lisco.
Lisco went after the first pitch. He struck out last time up and looking to do a little bit better this time around as the Jumbos have a chance to pile on some more here.
Yeah, it's been interesting to watch Alistair Rose mix around the velocity so much because that pitch, Lisco was sitting off speed and that just rocketed by him.
There, a nice pitch from Rose, and again, a nice frame job from Dirks, who just makes sure that one catches the outside. It's 0-2 here, and Lisco finds himself in yet another hole.
Yeah, that was that high cheese from Alistair Rose.
Rose setting here, way ahead 0-2. He fires, and that one, some absolute cheddar as it drops into the zone. And caught looking stunned is AJ Lisco as Rose picks up a big first out here as the Jumbos continue to threaten with 2 on, now 1 out.
You know, that wasn't just some cheddar. That was some good 2-year aged cheddar because that pitch may have taken 2 years to get to home plate. Still was effective, and that's why that velocity mixing has been so strong for him because the velocity mixing is so extreme.
There, another one in there to Fleckner, who walked his first time up, but now finds himself down 0-1. Fleckner there takes outside, and I gotta share my favorite stat about Henry Fleckner, as we know, a 2 count.
Yeah, Michael Berluti, of course, also a two-sport athlete. We saw a little bit of play from him on the basketball team this year. And when that shot goes in, when I tell you that Cousins Arena gets loud, it really gets loud. The fans love him.
Berluti, Fleckner, 2 special Jumbos, 2 who will be missed when they move on. But more yet to be done here for Henry Fleckner, even in this at-bat, as it's 3-1, and he looks to load them up here for the Jumbos.
You know, no, I'm eyeing that pizza over there. I think that would be a good pickup for the booth, wouldn't it be?
You can hear my stomach rumbling in the broadcast already, Seb.
You know, we're not used to doing a 6:30 on a Monday night, so
There. That one bounced back towards Rose. He makes the play to first. Runners do advance, but it'll be 2 outs here as Ozzie Fleischer will come up for the Jumbos.
Fleischer is 0 for 1 on the day as well. He struck out his first at bat, which ended the first inning with the bases loaded.
Fleischer, he was the first one to see Rose's unique pitching style, maybe this time, second time around. In another similar situation, he'll be able to size it up a little better. Or it could be the opposite case, of course. Rose could have his number here. We'll have to wait and see. A big at bat here, nonetheless, for Ozzie Fleischer, who takes one low.
Yeah, the command from Rose has been lacking just a little bit this inning. We've seen a fair number of pitches in the zone, but he has the experienced catcher Chris Dirks behind the plate, who is really able to protect balls from going to the backstop.
There, Fleischer swung through one. Good pitch from Rose. It'll be 1-1. There, Fleischer pops one down, but it's play made easily by Moriarty at second, and a clutch third out there for Rose as Bowdoin able to get out of that one. The Jumbos leave 2 on base here. It'll stay a 3-1 ball game as we head into the top of the 4th. We welcome you back here on JumboCast as Liam Foley steps up. Back in the first, he popped out to end that inning, and here looking to do a little better as Lapp continues to work through the second time around this Bowdoin lineup. There, Foley jumps on one on the first pitch and hits it right up the middle. That'll be a base hit.
Yeah, great first pitch hitting right there for Liam Foley. A rocket right up the middle. Easy table setting base hit. That is the 5th hit on the day for Bowdoin. And his second of the game, too.
Chris Dirks, the senior, coming up here for Bowdoin and looking to keep this one going. There, Lapp delivers one, strike one. Dirks, who played both games in the doubleheader earlier on Friday, he's 1 for 6 so far in the series, did have a single against Tufts in the second game. Dirks here taking a moment before Lapp looks to deliver the 0-1. Foley with a small lead at first. There, Dirks swings through one, and it'll be 0-2 here early for Dirks.
Yeah, we mentioned previously Chris Dirks' struggles this year related or in relation to his stats. In previous years, last year for Bowdoin hit 287, 3 home runs, 1 home run, 15 RBIs, OPS just under 800. And he's got another hit right there to the right side. So back-to-back hits to start off the inning for the Bowdoin Polar Bears, and they'll have first and second with nobody out.
Good piece of hitting there from Dirks, getting it back and continuing to set this table here. As it'll be Cook, the shortstop, up next. He had a single back in the second.
We'll see what he can cook up for his Bowdoin Polar Bears.
There, laser thrown by Brola, and he got him at third. A heads-up play by the Jumbo's veteran catcher to fire it down the third base line. A good play by Henshin to corral it, as what Will was looking to cook up was a bunt and just didn't lay it down exactly how he wanted, just kind of a dribbler. And Brola, that was a rocket.
Yeah, that bunt basically just died right in front of home plate. Only made it about a foot or so. In a bit of a risky move from Brawla to try to rocket it down the third base side. Nearly that ball ended up in left field, but a great play from Henshin to stop it.
I think it's a good point, though, that Henshin, he's not a traditional first baseman. He's not used to stopping the ball like that. And the chances of that one ending up, down by the third base wall, pretty high. And so a dangerous play there from Brawla, but good job to trust his rookie third baseman to make that play, and a big first out here for the Jumbos. Nonetheless, it continues to be 2-on here for Bowdoin, as now it's 1 out, and stepping up is Moriarty.
Yeah, Moriarty will definitely look to bring more to the party.
It might be time for Seb Gold to lay off the puns here, as Moriarty has struggled to lay off these first two pitches, finds himself down 0-2, and that time didn't swing. 1-2 here.
No, I'm just trying to have some fun here. It's a Monday night, it's a good mood. The clouds are going away, the sun's shining.
It's true.
Nice temperature.
True. Before this broadcast, saying how great of a mood I was in, and somehow
Now you're not. Now you're saying no to the pun.
It's disappearing a little bit with each passing pun. As there, the runner goes and finds himself in there safely. It'll be runners on the corners for Bowdoin, as it was a steal for Liam Foley.
Yeah, Foley got a great jump there heading to third, and even though the pitch came up and away, which is the ideal spot for a catcher to throw out a base runner, it was sort of an awkward position for him, and Foley's already so far down to third that he didn't even attempt to throw it in that direction. That one is fouled up and away.
Excuse me, that was Dirks. Foley retired on the play from Brola down at third base, but Dirks able to register his 6th stolen base on the year. As Moriarty stands in here, 2-2 from Lap. Runners on the corners for Bowdoin. Pitch comes, it is swung on and fouled back. We'll see a 2-2 again. I'm a little surprised they sent Dirks there. Maybe it was something they saw about Lap there, but sending somebody from second to third, not generally a hugely play used very often.
Yeah, it's also interesting not performing a double steal there and not sending the runner at first. That one misses way outside.
Full count here for Lap as he looks to avoid putting everybody on here for Bowdoin. And he'll look to fire at his best pitch here as Lap has worked well into the 4th inning, now facing some resistance. Number 9 sets and fires, swung on, and that one's popped up into right. Looking up at it is Smith, and he will make the play as the tag comes from Dirks. He is in safely, so the steal works out and then some for Bowdoin, able to put a run on the board there through basically some good base running calls by Moriarty and the rest of his staff. It's 2-3 here now on Gittleman.
Yeah, that showed the importance of that stolen base right there, because that was a pretty lazy fly ball, easily catchable in right field for Tufts, but having the runner third base meant a run could be squeezed out of that situation and get Bowdoin back within 1.
It's a good throw from Cooper Smith and right, too, but just hard to do to throw it, something like 250 feet there with such a good jump there from Dirks already. But an admirable effort nonetheless. It's 2-3 here.
Who says the smaller number first? 2-3. Yikes.
That one is jumped on, but looks like it'll die there and left. Looking up at it and making the play is Ben Leonard to end this inning. 1 run does come across for Bowdoin. It's 2-3 here on Gittleman, and it'll be Tufts back up to bat in the bottom of the fourth when we come back. Jesse McCullough up and fouling that one off right as the Jumbos coming around through the order for a third time here in the bottom of the fourth, and what's been a pretty productive day for the Jumbos offense, at least in the beginning when it was Coronado pitching, but now with Rose, he's only ceded one hit and 2 base runners overall. 3 base runners. He did hit Brawla as well.
Jesse McCullough 1 for 2 on the day. He singled to start off the bottom of the first inning, and he came around to score in that inning when Tufts picked up 3 runs. He also grounded out his last time up.
There, another one fouled back, and it'll stay 0-2. McCullough hitting 3 of 11 versus Bowdoin. He's had 2 RBIs and 2 runs in his career. Excuse me, that was last year's stats, but anyways, last year, 273 batting average with 2 runs and 2 RBIs versus Bowdoin. Look what he can do here as he soft contact fouls that one back as well. As we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, average slipping a little bit down at 219 coming into this one. 2 years consecutively before that, hitting over 300 and looking to get things going back in the right direction. Already has 1 hit today. Would love to add a second. Staying alive here, fouls off another one, and what I believe is the 6th pitch of the at-bat will be coming here from Rose.
And the dogs here at Gittleman Park are rooting for McCullough and Tufts.
A lot of fans here, younger fans, some students, a good turnout here on a Monday night, and they all want to see some jumbo baseball, as do we, and it's been a good one to watch so far.
Yeah, this was a previously scheduled senior night, though due to the rain out and some changes in schedule, the festivities were canceled.
It's there. McCullough gets a handle of that one. That'll stay fair for a base hit for Jesse McCullough. A little bloop single out into right, and he'll take that all day. A second hit of the game for McCullough, and the Jumbos get one on to start this bottom of the fourth.
Yeah, this is fantastic to see a multi-hit game from McCullough. That's his first one of these since March 28th against Bates. As Ben Leonard will step up to the plate.
Leonard gets a hold of that one and back towards the right field wall, looking up. That ball is out of here. Ben Leonard finds love in a lonely place. A 2-run shot over the right field wall, and the Jumbos go up 5-2 here.
Yeah, and we apologize for that horrendous call from Noah Goldstein, but that was another fantastic display of pure power. The second time we've seen a ball go over that high right field wall today, that one was a little bit closer to the foul pole. But what that also means is 2 home runs in 2 games from Leonard. So fantastic to see the power of his bat really come back at this late portion in the season.
There's 4th home run of the season overall. That'll move him up. He came into this game tied for 7th in the NESCAC with only 3 home runs. And a big swing of the bat as the Jumbos reassert themselves with a 3-run lead here. And that was, he really jumped on that one. I think if this was MLB The Show, that would have been a perfect, no doubt about it. Stepping up here, James Henshin, he's 2 for 2 in this one, but swings through that one. It'll be 1-1. Just a reference to Finding Love in a Lonely Place, which was referred to maybe as horrendous by my co-commentator, a reference to Ben Leonard's walk-up song, which I think is a fantastic track, and I think it was a good reference, but
See, the problem with the reference is it required you to explain it to the audience. You can't have to explain your references.
well, for the Jumbo faithful listening, I hope that they picked it up even before the explanation. But for the more casual fans out there, I understand. Anyways, it'll be Henshin here staring down the 1-2 from Rose, who really, that was the first time getting touched too badly by these Jumbo's hitters. He was pretty flawless coming into this inning, and now earns 2 earned runs with that big shot by Ben Leonard. The 2-2 is high and inside, and Henshin has worked it full, looking to keep the 100 batting average going.
Yeah, good to see Tufts working Alistair Rose just a little bit more. And that will be ball 4 away in the dirt.
Dirks had to slide to track that one down, and Henshin works a walk, and so far so good for the Jumbos. They've yet to get an out here.
Yeah, Alistair Rose now up to 55 pitches. So not necessarily a extremely efficient outing from him. And we'll have to see who else Bowdoin has left in the pen.
I would say it was fairly efficient. Three
Moderately efficient.
3 and a little bit innings. 2 runs. Obviously, it's not what you want to see, but definitely could have been worse considering he came in with the bases loaded in an inning where his team had already given up 3 runs. Pretty good outing so far.
We do apologize if there were any recent audio issues. We're just working through some technical difficulties here.
Less of an audio issue, more of an excitement issue. That was as exciting of a play as it gets, and can't blame me for feeling it a little bit on that home run call. If you missed it, it was Ben Leonard going over the right field wall for a 2-run shot that put the Jumbos up 5-2 here. Right now, up to bat Cooper Smith. He singled back in the first, and now up again, looking to continue a rally here for the Jumbos. That one taken outside, checking back is Dirks. Just getting back in there was Henshin.
Yeah, Henshin, as we've mentioned many times, is a freshman. Looks like he got a little bit too far off first base with that secondary lead, caught dancing over there a little bit. And it was a good read from the veteran catcher, Dirks, to rocket one over to first base. Fortunately for him, just not quite in time.
That one got away at first. Henshin gets up and looks to run to second. He'll make it in time, and Jumbo's put one in scoring position on a misplay there by Kevin Murray, who was a little slow to get up, but looks okay there at first.
Yeah, and Murray's throw also across the diamond back, aimed back at second base, also was pretty far off line. and had to be saved there by the shortstop from going into left field. He is staying in the game with no coaches coming out to talk to him, so it looks like he'll be okay.
Difficult play for Murray nonetheless because, you got a guy sliding at your feet and then you got to throw it right back across after turning around. Not necessarily straightforward. Smith line one through. That just play could not be made by Foley, and it'll be runners on the corners for the Jumbo. A little bouncing ball single there for Smith, his second of the game, and that'll set up Max Pavlik in a great spot to put some more hurt on the Polar Bears.
Yeah, and it just looks like that Alistair Rose is starting to see his command and his overall success decline just a little bit here in the fifth inning after being so successful previously tonight.
A little bit surprised that Coach Connolly is yet to come out of the bullpen for a mound visit, but they'll see what he can do against Pavlik, the lefty stepping in. He walked last time, also grounded out back in the first.
There is, however, some activity over in the Bowdoin pen. Looks like over there we've got the right-hander Alex Saavedra warming up. He has a 5.40 ERA on the year in 10 appearances, all out of the bullpen.
The 1-0 as the runner goes, and there will be no throw as Dirks had a little trouble corralling it. Chalk it up as a stolen base for Cooper Smith, and it'll be two runners in scoring position here as Pavlik licking his lips there for what could be a big opportunity.
You could even say he's licking his lips.
Or you could say something else. Regardless, Rose here now really in some trouble as he tries to deliver. Pavlik swing on that one. That one gets through for a base hit. Coming home to score is Henshin. Smith a little bit confused when that ball came off the bat. He'll have to hold up at third, but this rally continues. Bowdoin still yet to get an out. It's now 2-6 here for the Jumbos. Good piece of hitting there by Pavlik to sneak it through in between that first and second base gap.
Yeah, that was one of those ground balls that you couldn't really tell if it was going to end up in the glove of the second baseman or to his left. And I think Cooper Smith was in the kind of same predicament as us, and we couldn't really figure out where that ball would end up as he sort of held up between second and third base, which prevented him from scoring there. But Tufts will still have first and third with nobody out.
Connor Brella, who's been hit twice in this game, maybe looking to enact a little bit of revenge, as it's a good spot to do it. Runners on the corners again for the Jumbos, and Brella looking to extend what is now a 4-run lead for Tufts. And there's a third time. Right there, right in the back on that 26 again, and Brella he's going to need an ice bath and maybe more after this one. Maybe a heating pad even, as he takes a third ball off the back there. And I'm surprised that hands have not been thrown in response to that one here.
Yeah, I can't say I've ever seen that one before. He's sitting 0 for 0 on the day, but with 3 hit by pitches. And I'm not one for conspiracy theories. I'm not one to think that anything fishy is happening out there, but definitely some odd coincidences for sure.
AJ Lisko coming up here. He's struck out twice in this ballgame. Here, grounds one towards third. The play is made at home by Foley. Good play by Foley to charge that one in and fire it into Dirks for the force out. A crucial first out picked up by Bowdoin, though the bases will remain loaded.
Yeah, definitely the right decision by Foley to go home there. Play looked maybe a little bit closer than it would have been at first base, but he recognized the importance of the lead runner, and in that situation, the lead runner would have been the 7th run on the night for the Jumbos. So Bowdoin will stay in the same position with the bases loaded, but now they'll have an out on the board, putting the infield into double play depth, setting up a big at-bat.
I was going to mention that the corner infielders especially coming in here as they are looking to get the double play for sure here to get Bowdoin out of this one. Nonetheless, it'll be Henry Fleckner stepping up. He's got a walk and a ground out so far in this one, and the other thing he's got is a big chance to add some more runs for the Jumbos. Good pitch in there by Rose as he knots this one up at 1-1. That one play got passed at the plate, and what maybe scored as a wild pitch scores a run for the Jumbos. It's now 7-2, and certainly not what you want to see if you're Alistair Rose, not only, of course, because it gave up a run, but also because it takes away the chance at a double play. Notably, Henry Fleckner has grounded to 4 double plays, which is the most in the NESCAC, so it was a decent idea there for the Polar Bears that has now gone to the wayside.
Yeah, again, the command issues continuing to bite Alistair Rose, and that one right there was swung at and fouled off by Fleischer, but definitely was also destined for the lower part of the zone or even the dirt.
Fleckner stepping back up here in a 2-2 count with 1 out. 2 runners in scoring position in what is now a 2-8 ball game. Fleckner, a little bit bamboozled there by the off-speed curveball. He is set down on strikes by Rose. A crucial second out as Rose just tries to get out of this nightmare as soon as possible.
Yeah, definitely hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray on that one right there. That was that very effective slow off-speed curveball that we mentioned previously. We had been seeing less of it from Rose in more recent at-bats and innings, but he went back to it right there, was able to get Fleischer to whiff.
Yeah, so I remember I used to play wiffle ball with my uncle sometimes, and he would do something similar where he would throw it as high as possible, wait for it to come on the plate. I could never hit it. These Jumbos hitters, though, have been a little more fortunate. There's a good hit by Ozzie Fleischer. That'll score 1. Coming around to score is a second run in Lisco for the Jumbos, and they put on 2 more. Clutch piece of hitting there into right center by Fleischer. And this game has been broken wide open here in the bottom of the 4th, make it 10-2 for Tufts.
Yeah, Alistair Rose, it just looks like he was brought to the end of his success right there as he'll be taken out of the game here by Connolly. Saavedra will come in. It was a great 2 innings plus for Rose after him being so effective after he was brought on in that first inning, but he just could not replicate his command from earlier in the game here in the 5th, and he will see the end of his night.
Yeah, we mentioned that Rose had some experience going long innings. There was one game where he went 6.1 versus Penn State, 1-4 versus Bates, but in his other starts, it was 1 inning, 2 innings, and 3 innings only. And so maybe just a little bit of wear on the arm. He did throw more than 60 pitches. A commendable effort for the most part by Alistair Rose. Unlucky that he faced so much tough play from the Jumbos here in the bottom of the 4th. And you wonder if Coach Connolly made the right decision by leaving him out this long in the first place. He had someone warming up in the pen.
Yeah, I mean, if you go by pure stats, Alistair Rose should be the more effective arm than Saavedra, who is pitching now. But, you know, you can never really expect an inning like that to happen for a pitcher, especially after such effective play in previous innings.
Rose, also a freshman, it's worth noting, not with as much experience and maybe just struggling a little bit there on the back half of this outing. Saavedra, on the other hand, a junior. He's appeared in 19 games for the Polar Bears last year. A little bit up and down. He ended up sporting a 6.45 ERA and 22.1 innings of work, but had some good outings mixed in there. Scoreless against Williams, Middlebury, St. Joseph's, and Tufts. He went 5.1 innings in a win for Bowdoin against Tufts back in April of last year. Exactly 1 year ago today, make that April 14th, 2024.
Yes, Saavedra Jr. out of Tiburon, California, went to Marin Catholic. Sorry, Marin Catholic. I've been corrected on that one before.
The first batter he'll have to work with is Jesse McCullough, who I believe started off this inning. So the Jumbos have indeed batted around in what's been one of the best offensive innings I've seen from this team this season. And it's coming at a good time, as we spoke about earlier in the broadcast. A crucial game here for Tufts as they look to assert themselves in the NESCAC and push towards the playoffs. And they've done that and more so far. It's been a really strong overall effort, whether it's Lap on the mound, the defense, or the offense, which has really come alive here in the bottom of the fourth.
Yeah, all aspects of the team have absolutely been cooking tonight. Most of the players on the lineup have been able to get at least one hit or get on base in some way, shape, or form. 3 different multi-hit games so far, and again, we're only in the 5th inning. Sorry, 4th inning.
Kala stepping back up. He singled, if you recall, to start this inning and comes back up here. Swinging that one in a similar place where he put the last one, but this one is a better read on it for Siegel, who will make the play, and the Polar Bears finally out of this one and not without their share of problems. The Jumbos open up a huge lead, and we'll be back with a new voice when we come back. Welcome back here as we are joined by Tufts' own version of Marc-Andre Fleury, the goaltender for the Tufts hockey team, and it's a pleasure to be joined in the booth by our own Tade Carmen. Tade, how are you?
I'm great. Thank you for having me on. I'm really excited to get started with you guys here tonight for some jumbo baseball.
We're excited too, and the Jumbo is clearly excited at your presence as Siegel there lines that one into left. And Tade, tell me a little bit about who's coming up next. That's Will Bordes for the Polar Bears.
Yeah, Siegel flies out there. That'll bring out Will Bordes, who has just had an incredible season for the Polar Bears this year on both sides of the ball. Leads the team in batting average, hits, RBIs, and then on the other side of the ball, a little Shohei Ohtani effect with 10 innings pitched, a 0.0 ERA, and 5 saves, just coming in relief and really being an effective closer on top of their most effective batter this year for the Polar Bears.
This time, though, he swings through Lap's first offering and goes down 0-1. Bordes 0 for 2 in this one, but as you mentioned, been hot on the season, and he can turn it around at any time.
He really can, and I mean, just an incredible batting average north of 350 as he grounds this one to third and will be put out at first.
Was a close play, though. Bordes flying down the line there as he just kind of chopped at that one and almost beat it out, but a heads-up play there by Henshin at third to chase it down and retire the second batter. Lap here working again efficiently up in the fifth, already 2 down.
Very efficient for Lap tonight as he's just now hitting 59 pitches thrown tonight, and we're in the top of the 5th inning. Just incredible efficiency all night for big number 9 on the mound.
Kevin Murray gets a hold of another one and lines it into right. That'll be a base hit. Kevin Murray productive again after that home run in the first inning. This time, a similar direction, not as much power, but able to muscle that one out into right for a base hit.
We're continuing to see aggressive bats from the Polar Bear. First pitch swinging, really aggressive, not trying to wait for their pitch, but going after the first thing they see that they like.
It's interesting because seeing the Tufts game here on Friday, that was the Jumbo's approach a lot in the batter's box, just trying to catch him off guard. Obviously, we've seen some of that from Tufts, especially back in the first inning, but I agree that the Polar Bears playing an aggressive strategy here, trying to jump on Lap's pitch. But Lap for his part, has delivered very good pitches at the beginning of at-bats, able to get in front of these polar bear hitters, and I think that's you can attribute a lot of his success to that fact.
Absolutely. He's been getting ahead of the count in almost every at-bat, whether it's a foul ball like you just saw, great command on the first pitch, and just,
Some offense going here for Bowdoin when they need it the most.
yeah, 9-2 ball game, top of the fifth. If you're the Polar Bears, this is really where you need to turn it around, and you don't want to drop this series to Tufts, especially with them sneaking up right behind you in the standings. Definitely one the Polar Bears want.
The 0-2 coming from Lap is checked by
Definitely a great play by McCullough to step up there, charge that ball, make a quick play to first base, get him out of the inning.
We'll be right back here on JumboCast. Here on JumboCast.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Thanks, appreciate it, appreciate it. Yeah, it was good stuff.
I'm so used to yeah, sorry. Could spare one extra slice. Oh, it's over there. Oh my god. Oh, it's fine. Spirits high here in the press box, not only because of the Jumbo's performance, but also because Pizza has entered. Entering the batter's box here, Ben Leonard. Last time up, a memorable 2-run home run over that right field wall, and maybe looking to create some more magic here.
Yeah, he's finding his power here, and I mean, 12 career home runs now after that last one, and I mean, that was a moonshot. That was absolutely rifled over the big wall out in right field.
Here, ahead 2-0. Thought about that one. It was in there anyways. Strike one for Saavedra. Makes sense that Leonard having a good performance so far. He's been the Jumbo's best hitter versus Bowdoin in 2024 and 2025. Coming into this game, he was 8 of 16 with 4 runs and 3 RBIs. This time, smacks one towards second. Moriarty throws over and makes the play. 1 out here.
That's a great pitch there, you know, to somebody ahead of the count, just low in the zone, trying to get a nice ground ball, have them attack it. You know, they're thinking swing, and he got what he was looking for there, Saavedra.
Up steps James Henshin. He's 2 for 2 in this at bat, also adding a walk.
Yeah, 2 singles for Henshin tonight with an RBI. Looking to get back on base here.
Henshin check swing on that one. They say it went around.
Saavedra trying to do a good job getting himself in the count, ahead in the count, just like Rose did for those 2 innings and change, where he found himself absolutely dominating the Jumbo's lineup until they batted around on him and pushed him off the mound. But Saavedra looking to replicate the good things that Rose did and maybe mix in some off speed and some looping pitches like we saw from Rose. Very interesting style of pitching there.
Most definitely. And Saavedra maybe looking to confuse these Jumbo's batters there, went to the slider and missed it down low.
Yeah, your typical 0-2 pitch. Good job by Henshin laying off as he's had a good eye tonight with the walk, like you mentioned, and trying to get on base for the fourth time. Having a good eye will help.
Well, James Hutchins, so impressive as a rookie to be playing how he is, and he looks as much a pro as anybody in that batter's box. Really just composed, able to take pitches, and able to find his pitch in any given at bat.
Absolutely. You can see the confidence, and I mean, what a play on third base earlier. I don't know if that was the third or fourth inning on that throw from Brawla, but another good eye there. I mean, what a catch. And like you mentioned, not your typical first baseman play at third base, but able to keep his foot on the bag and get a key out.
Looking ahead, as this was supposed to be senior day, important to have cornerstone pieces you can build up on looking to the future of your Coach Stark with so many good pieces leaving as Henshin lines that one to second. The play is made by Moriarty once again, and it's 2 outs here for the Jumbos.
Moriarty has been busy tonight. I mean, that's his fifth play that he's been involved in. A lot of pitches just seeming to end up in his glove tonight off the bats of the Jumbos as Smith will come up.
Don't know if it has to do with the handedness of these batters. The lefties are hitting it his way, or it has to do with the pitches that they're seeing. They're just getting a lot of soft contact. But Moriarty definitely been busy and been able to handle it pretty well here.
Absolutely going 5 for 5 tonight on his fielding. Always impressive as it's never easy, especially on that turf field. Sometimes maybe can give you an unpredictable bounce or two on the way over.
Most definitely, Moriarty also was the one who batted in one of the Polar Bears' 2 runs with a sac fly in the fourth. There, Smith looking to line that one, but fouling it off. It'll be 0-2 here as Saavedra looks to get out of this inning.
Smith also trying to get back on base this time for a third time as he's got 2 singles tonight with an RBI. Also coming in the first inning.
There, looked at a looping slider on the outside, maybe a little bit of a slurve action out of the hand of Saavedra, but
Definitely.
Smith wasn't buying it. He'll
Interesting
take
bit on that.
pitch.
Not sure if that's a key point that maybe the pitching coach for Bowdoin looks at is some looping off-speed pitches, or that one's belted though out to center field for a single.
Chai thought about going for heroic play and then thought again about it as Smith able to find the outfield there for his third base hit. As you mentioned, Cooper Smith on the top of the Jumbos lineup been really productive so far. McCullough 2 for 4, Leonard with a 2-run home run and a walk, Henshin with 2 hits and a walk, Smith 3 hits. It's really lighting up the stat sheet here where the Jumbos need it the most.
Absolutely, and that's something the Jumbos have needed all year is their key guys to step up and especially get some momentum here coming into the playoffs towards the end of the season. These are the guys that you need hot. These are the bats that you need hot. These are the guys that, can make a difference. Of course, pitching probably wins championships, but you need the score too.
And we were talking about a little bit before the broadcast, pitching maybe more of an issue when Jumbos were playing out of conference, figuring out some stuff with the rotation. But really in the NESCAC so far, it's been getting the bats going. And tonight, as good a sign as any for Tufts that they're on the right track. Here, Max Pavlik looking to keep it going.
Absolutely, and as any baseball fan knows, you need both. You need the bats and you need the pitching. And unfortunately, sometimes it just happens where you're getting one, but you're not getting the other. But it looks like finally for the Jumbos this season, it's starting to come together as a collective group. As we mentioned earlier, it's really been a team effort tonight. Great pitching from Lap. And, I mean, the bats are hot, making it easy on them.
Pavlik awaits the 0-2 after the check back on Smith at first. Pitch is way high and a good throw down from Dirks. That'll get him on the steal attempt, and that'll be the end here. Good play by Dirks, and almost like a pitch out there. That was a high fastball.
Yeah, definitely. Great awareness by Saavedra and Dirks together. Good team effort to get them out of that inning.
So Bowdoin able to get out of this one without any damage and give themselves a chance to claw back in it when we come back.
Yeah, it was over. What up, man? How are you? What are you up to? You just coming to tuning? Oh yeah, dude, you should have came for the bottom of the fourth, man. You missed all the runs. It's lucky for Pavlik. He was down what 0-2 there, 1-2. Gets a fresh at bat. Yeah.
Polar Bears looking to get the offense going quickly as Foley lines that one down to first, but the play is made by Lisco as he flips it over to Lap and one down on one pitch. Lap, if there's one word to describe him, I think it would be efficient tonight.
Yeah. 66 pitches, and I mean, he's really just capitalizing on Bowdoin being aggressive. He's putting the first pitch in great spots, hitting his corners, and just great scouting report if that's what it comes down to for Lap, but good hustle over to first base for the putout as well. Saw Lap a week ago win the NESCAC Pitcher of the Week, and a game that was quite similar to this one, efficient and controlled, smart, few strikeouts, but oftentimes just relying on that weak contact, dribblers in the infield, and just getting it done in really great fashion. You just chalk it up to great pitching all around. I mean, no holes in his game.
That great pitching has continued in this at bat as he gets ahead 0-2 on Chris Dirks. The catcher is stepping up. Swing and a miss. That's strike three, and Lap retires another one.
6 strikeouts now for Lap, and not even at 70 pitches. I mean, we keep talking about it, but looking like for another complete game if he can keep up this pace as he did a week ago.
The first thing I would say is that Bowdoin should lay off more pitches, but really that might not even be the wisest approach either because Lap has just done such a good job at getting his pitches in the zone and challenging these batters that Bowdoin really haven't had a lot to work with. Just a great performance, as you mentioned, overall.
Absolutely. It's tough as a hitter when, they're putting stuff in the zone and you don't want to go down 0-1. You don't want to be caught there just looking at pitches go by. Then you're just putting yourself in tough positions. But if that's what the pitcher's dealing, then, once again here, he's up 0-2 in the count on 2 pitches, just making easy work of the Polar Bears lineup.
Will Cook looking to fight back a little bit. He had a single back in the second, but since then, pretty quiet.
Yeah, reached twice, one on a fielder's choice, and there's strike 3.
Lap maybe his best inning yet as he puts him down 1-2-3 with 2 punch outs, and Jacob continuing to roll here for the Jumbos. Alex Saavedra entering his second full inning of work here as he looks to keep continuing to limit the damage for Bowdoin in what is still a 2-9 ball game. I mean, Max Pavlik, the DH, stepping up. He's rage based the last 2 times up via a walk and then a single.
Yeah, Pavlik, maybe a lucky unlucky scenario as he was down 1-2 in that count when that putout happens, as he'll float one to first base for a pop out. But I guess there goes that chance by the wayside.
Connor Brawla stepping up and maybe shivering a little bit as he faces down the prospect of getting hit a fourth straight time.
I mean, that is such an unbelievable stat. I've never seen somebody get hit by a pitch 3 times in a game. I mean, somewhere there's got to be a stat for the record of hit by pitches in a game.
We were notified earlier that that record
5.
is 5. So
There you
Brawla
go.
definitely still in play here as we're only in the 6th inning. That one right over the plate though, nothing to worry about. He does swing and foul that one towards the right side.
That's just an incredible experience. I mean, imagine getting hit 5 times and
And I think you got to be rooting for him to just smack one 450 feet here as a little bit of revenge. I mean, you're always rooting for a homer if you're a Tufts fan, but I think it would actually be extra sweet for Connor Brawla. It does have 2 home runs on the season.
it's quite unbelievable. Being able to bat 5 times in a game is rare, but then getting hit in the back 5 times, I mean, how about that?
That one bounces low from Saavedra. It'll be 2-1. Definitely the Jumbos will be seeing a good amount of at-bats here. They might start emptying the bench later on should this game continue to be held by a wide margin.
Jumbo's got to be happy in the position that they're in for a few reasons, as this is their second to last home game, and also just taking a series on the team ahead of you, as this is grounded to the pitcher Saavedra, and he'll throw it over to first. But you want to win at home and get things done, especially more importantly when it's a team in first place in your division, the team that you're trying to catch, to take the series 2-1. That's really huge for the momentum, and they'll get one more home game on Wednesday, and then they're on the road for the last 8. So a big win here.
This is a Bowdoin team that has been so strong as well. They came into this series, I believe it was 19-4 on the season. NESCAC leads in basically every statistic, or at least up there. And the Jumbos really have responded well to the challenges that they've seen throughout, earlier this weekend and coming into this one. They took a gut punch in game 1 and were able to fire one right back.
Absolutely. It's great resilience, and I mean they've been resilient all year, just ups and downs, and that's awesome. You love to see going down 8-0 in that first game and then bouncing back with a great pitching performance, getting the bats going for 6 runs, and then here they are tonight, really putting them in a position to succeed.
AJ Lisco here in the batter's box finds himself up 2-1. Lisco, the only player in the lineup to not register either a hit or a walk, or get reached by a hit by pitch. In the case of Connor Brawla, he struck out twice and then reached on the fielder's choice. And this time,
right on cue.
I never found myself wanting to be the commentator cursing type, but maybe I'm developing it as right on cue, as Tade mentioned. Lisco is plunked.
Right on top of the foot there. Not a pleasant spot, although he does wear that shin guard that's become more and more popular as more and more people get hit in that area from breaking balls over the years.
The worst place might be the elbow, right on the funny bone. That's a bad one to take one. The back, as Brawla had 3 times, not a great one either. But the foot, certainly not pleasant either, as Fleckner tried to beat that one out, but it was a good play by the shortstop Cook. And the Polar Bears get out of this one.
Awesome play by Cook. I mean, aggressive, coming right at the ball. Hard throw to first. I mean, fast runner too, and he got it done. It's a great play to get him out of the inning.
I mean, absolutely textbook. That's what you're told. You put your head down, you run at that ball, and you make the play. And Cook learned that well. Jumbo's entering the 7th inning here. We'll welcome back Sebastian Gold when we come back. Connor Moriarty up to the plate. He is 0 for 1 with a sac fly in this one. And here, grounding one right towards Henshin, who throws across and makes the play. One pitch, one out once again here for Jacob Lapp, who sets down Moriarty. We welcome back Sebastian Gold after a quick 2-inning reprieve. Seb, what have you seen so far?
Yeah, I'm just seeing more of the same. Over these past couple of innings, Lapp has really settled in. He's just been cruising through the past couple of innings. Bowdoin pitching as well has also been able to knock down the Tufts hitters.
Promising work on both sides of the mound as Lapp fires in another strike here.
I mean, Lapp's given up 2 earned runs tonight, but that first one by Murray is just a tip your cap moment, and not much he could really do about that. Outside low corner and just taking it opposite field for about 350. Not much you can really do, but other than that, I mean, Lapp has just been, like you guys have been saying, just in control.
Now, you're down 7 runs. It's hard to make any major adjustments, but you wonder what they're throwing at the wall there in the dugout and hoping that something will stick.
Yeah, I mean, you're at the point of the game where for Bowdoin, you got to sort of shift your focus on what your goal is to get out of this game. And maybe just a little bit more production from different hitters on the team, maybe seeing what's in the bullpen.
Laps 1-2 is fouled off by Moriarty. We'll see it again.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And for Bowdoin, you want to continue that momentum. I mean, they're 20-5 this season. They're a great, strong team. Having a tough time here tonight, but you want to be able to continue. That one's fouled off, way left. You want to be able to continue that momentum and hold first place in the division going into the playoffs. So they really want to come out of here as well with some pride and just keep sticking to their game and keep trying to get what they can done.
For Bowdoin, my tally, 7 games left, only 3 of those in the NESCAC, so plenty of time to experiment a little bit as they work towards what will definitely be a NESCAC playoff berth, likely on home turf as well. Lapp missed on the last one. It's 2-2 here to Thompson. Cal Thompson swings and pops that one up. Brawlo looking up at it into the lights. He will. Oh, it'll fall out of his glove. Brawlo, tough play here. Looking up into the dark night and the bright lights and just couldn't let it fall into the netting of his glove.
Yeah, you mentioned Bowdoin's home field advantage they have in a lot of their, or sorry, the lack of home field advantage that they will have in some of the more games that they'll be playing on the year. This is a team they've not lost at home yet on the year. All of their losses have come on the road. Of course, on Friday against Tufts, they also, as I mentioned, misses away. They also lost against Bates away earlier in the year. They lost a couple of games in a tournament down in Davenport, Florida to Co-College.
Polar Bears are 9-2 at neutral sites games, with only 1-2, soon to be 1-3 in officially registered away games. Something to look forward to, as they will have to win away from Maine, their home, if they want to be really successful in the postseason. Fighting here is Thompson. It'll stay 3-2.
It's a rare at bat for Lapp tonight that the Bowdoin Polar Bears have been able to make him pitch a little bit to him.
Lapp coming with the payoff pitch. It is outside. It's a walk for Cal Thompson. He reaches for the first time tonight.
Yeah, great at bat from Cal Thompson. Again, even though we're at this point in the game for Bowdoin when it's more about just salvaging anything, it's still great to see the hitters trying to work Lapp down, play the game as if it was still a tie game.
Absolutely, and you never know, right, if you're the Polar Bears, if you're able to get Lapp out of the game, can you find some hot bats? I mean, they're a team that hits north of 300 as a group. I mean, no slouches in the batter's box, and maybe if they can get Lapp out of the game on pitch count, find a way to get some runs on the board.
Yeah. Coming into crunch time here for Jacob Lapp. He's gone. In his last 3 starts, he went 9, of course, in that game that earned him NESCAC Player of the Week last week. Before that, it was 7 in a game against Bates and 7 at Chapman. So certainly no unfamiliar territory here for Jacob Lapp. He's been a reliable arm and used to going long innings here when the Jumbos need it. So far, 5-star work. Siegel here Pops that one up to the.
Just we've seen it time and time and again, and we keep talking about it. It's just he's getting it done in every way.
Excuse me. Will Board is stepping up here. 0-1. There. That one's into left center. Long run for Fleckner. Lost his hat, but came up with the baseball. Nice play there on a long run from Henry Fleckner. Got a good jump on it, though, and picks up the third out for the Jumbos, who set down the Polar Bears once again. We'll be right back. Jumbo's 9-hole hitter Ozzie Fleischer is stepping up. He had an RBI single last time up. And there looks at ball one. Still same pitcher Alex Saveda here for Bowdoin, and he's done some good relief work here in what's been a game that's got a little bit away from the Polar Bears, but through no fault of his own, as Fleischer lines that one into left. Looking up at it and making the play is Thompson. Excuse me.
Yeah, that's good for Fleischer though. I mean, his last at bat, like you mentioned, a 2 RBI single, and a guy that's been struggling with the bat, but he gets a good contact on that ball too. Some warning track fly out, and that's really good for confidence. And defensive wizard that just if he can get that bat going, man, I mean, just an incredible two sides of the ball player.
There, another piece of good contact made by McCullough, but right into the glove of Chai. Quickly 2 outs here for Bowdoin.
Yeah, more aggressive bats from both teams. As I mean, we've seen first pitch swinging all night long. I'm not sure if that's been in the scouting report for both teams or if that's just been the strategy, but it's played out great, and it's also not. So
that one jumped on by Henshin, popped up, and play made. In what might be the quickest inning of baseball you'll see this week. What was that? Maybe 4 pitches?
Looked
Yeah.
like 4 pitches to me, yeah.
4 pitches was all it took for
1
Alex Saveda to set down the Jumbos 1, 2, 3. Maybe they're thinking about getting home to get their homework done or whatever else. But we will roll into the top of the 8th here when we come back. Kevin Murray, the hot bat for the Polar Bears, coming back up here for his 4th at bat. He's 2 for 3, and there, looking at the first pitch again and flying it up. Fleckner looks up at it. He calls off the other outfielders and makes the play. 1 out on, guess what, fellas? 1 pitch. We're moving this one right along here.
I mean,
Yeah.
correct me if I'm wrong. Is that 4 batters in a row? First pitch out?
That
I believe at least 3 batters.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I think no, I think you got a point there with players. It's a Monday night. People are trying to get home, get their homework. For the Bowdoin team, they gotta make the long bus ride
not a
back
short ride back.
up to
Exactly.
Brunswick, Maine.
Here, conversation between Stark and Lapp, maybe, telling him how great his work has been, but wondering if they should save his arm a little bit. There is a call, it looks like, to the bullpen. Ball might be getting handed off, but grudgingly by Lapp, who, for what it's worth, did an excellent job here on the mound tonight, something that we've become accustomed to seeing here from Jacob Lapp as he's transformed himself into the Jumbo's ace this season.
Yeah, another great start from Lapp. That's now 3 really, really quality outings in a row for him. 7 1/3 innings, 2 runs, 6 hits, 7 strikeouts, and he will leave to a standing ovation from the Jumbo faithful.
I must say so myself. I think that might qualify for, hopefully for him, back-to-back pitcher of the weeks, maybe, in his
Yeah.
outings.
Absolutely.
So Connor Pedezwa certainly gave him a good run for his money with 7.1 innings hitless back on Friday as the Jumbos are warming up a reliever here. Emmett Christian, another player who was the pitcher of the week for the Jumbos earlier in the season, and he'll look to lock this one down, probably go the rest of it for Tufts.
One of 4 pitchers. I'm sorry. One of 4 pitchers out of 5 weeks for the Jumbos to win a pitcher of the week. I mean, that's what you want as a management staff and also as a pitching staff, is being able to compete against your teammates for player of the week awards. How about that?
Most definitely. Iron sharpens iron here in Medford, and Emmett Christian in the month of April so far in 3 innings of work, giving up 5 hits and only 1 earned run, 2 strikeouts. He's been solid for the Jumbos when called upon, and they'll hope for that, just to get him across the finish line here, lock up a W.
Yeah, Christian's ERA kind of jumps out you up around that 9 area, but if you look at his individual outings, it's really only been 2 poor outings for him. One against Johnson and Wales, where he allowed 5 runs, another against Claremont Mud Scripps, where he allowed 7. Other than that, he's been rock solid. And he's a proud resident of Hill Hall, 4th floor, where I also reside. Chill
Yep.
guy, plays guitar.
Good
There you go.
neighborly etiquette, Subgold, no complaints.
He does like to play music really loudly in the bathroom, but he plays bangers, so it's okay.
Good to know. Good to know. We all have our own showering playlists, I believe. And, in that space, it's more about enjoying yourself and not worrying about anybody else. As maybe Christian should have worried a little bit more about Lucas Chai there as he flunked him, and Chai will take first base.
1 pitch, 1 hit by pitch. It's a little different than the first pitch flyout. Change it up a bit.
There's one thing for sure. If on the first pitch there's going to be action here in the late innings, whether for better or for worse, Foley will maybe look to be getting out of the way here, though, as Christian winds and throws. That one inside, a nice pitch from Christian there, and strike 1.
Yeah, as you mentioned, fully 1 for 3 tonight. I'm sorry, 1 for 2 with a walk. Hoping to get on base for a second time, as Christian will have to go through the middle to bottom of the order here of the Polar Bears lineup.
Foley looked like he swung through that one. They say he held back, though. It'll be 1-1, and Chai was certainly rearing to go over at first, but held himself back as well, as it was a good stop by Brola behind the backstop. Christian's 1-1 is taken for ball 2, and Foley finds himself ahead of the count here as It's coming into last ditch efforts needed for Bowdoin here in the 8th, and if not now, then when? Starting to become the question. Another good take there from Foley. He gets ahead 3-1.
Those are great eyes on balls just outside the plate and good frames from Brawla as well as, I mean, he's getting them close, but no bite.
Christian's stuff has looked pretty good, at least in terms of velocity so far. Of course, a little bit struggle with control. And we see it there again. That one not as close as its predecessors. It'll be ball 4, and Foley will take first base as Bowdoin now 2 on, and signs of life from an offense that's been dormant for the last couple frames.
Yeah, interesting watching Christian pitch out there because you'll notice when he's kind of working with his catcher to decide a pitch, kind of extends his right arm out to his right side. Kind of reminds me of Craig Kimbrell, who has a very distinctive pre-pitch positioning.
Another jumbo with a similar ritual, Cotter Pedezwa. We saw that a bunch on Friday. He kind of leans over, swings, and much like an NBA player at the free throw line, I think these pitchers, they have their rituals and they like to stick with them. Consistency is key. That one swung and fouled back. It's Dirks here. He struck out his last time up. It was overall 7 strikeouts, 2 earned runs for Jacob Lapp. Solid work.
Definitely one of the most important positions to have a routine would be the pitcher. I mean, you want to be doing the same thing every time, have your delivery looking the same, but coming out as different spins, and just important for such a mental battle to be alone out there on the mound, especially with guys on base, just preparing your mind for the next pitch every time.
2-1 here from Christian with 2 runners threatening behind him. He delivers and is swung on and missed. Strike 2 as he got Dirks with a nice off-speed breaking ball there.
It's a little bit like we were just mentioning a little bit ago that if maybe they could get Lap off the mound, they could make something happen. Here they got 1 out, 2 guys on base, an opportunity, like you said, if not now, then when?
We'll see. That one fouled back by Dirks. And, you look at those 2 bars that have reached for Bowdoin, one via the hit by pitch, one via the walk, and you think now is definitely the time for Bowdoin to try to seize on maybe a lack of control coming straight out of the pen for Christian before he gets warmed up and really into this game. He delivers low. It'll be full count.
Yeah, Christian has thrown a lot of pitches that have sort of not necessarily hit the dirt, not necessarily been up in the sky, and not necessarily been out by like the on deck circle or the other dugout. Just a lot of kind of close calls. Pitches just barely missing the strike zone.
Full count pitches inside, strike 3. Called strike there by the Dirks, shaking his head as he walks back, but it was a nice pitch by Christian right there. He definitely had been flirting with those corners and found it on the inside there to retire Dirks on a crucial second out as Bowdoin continues to threaten with 2 on.
Yeah, that was a great high and in fastball on that punch out. Just as a hitter, there's not much you can really do with that unless you pick it up early out of the hand. And a great pitch for the punch out, but if contact was made there, definitely a potential double play ball.
Will Cook has taken 2 big hacks and come up with nothing both times. He had a single earlier in this game, and they're going to need him here.
Cook looking to avoid striking out back-to-back at bats here, just like Dirks did.
The 0-2 from Christian. That one gets past Brawla. Both runners will advance into scoring position for Bowdoin, and the pressure continues to mount on Cook as it'll be 1-2.
Yeah, I wonder if that is scored as a wild pitch or a pass ball because at least from our angle, it kind of looked like it was more in the zone and misplayed by Brawla, allowing it to go back. But I could be incorrect there.
The 1-2 from Christian is fouled back.
Yeah, Brawlers had to have an active game behind the plate with a couple behind the plate pop-ups and a couple blocks. That one just got past him there. He also had that great play down to third earlier that we were talking about to get a crucial out. So he's had a great game, just a little bit of a mistake there.
That pitch is high. And, I wonder, Tate, if being a catcher is somewhat like being a goalie in hockey, just where you have to kind of be able to adjust at any given moment and stop the ball and kind of do a lot of different unconventional things to make it work.
It definitely is. I played a little baseball too growing up, and shockingly enough, I was a catcher.
And there, no stopping needed. That one right into the glove of Brawlez. Christian gets out of a jam easily, retiring Dirks, retiring Cook, both via the strikeout. And Tufts gets one inning closer to putting this one away.
That was great pitching from Christian, and like I was saying, it is similar. It's just a little different, a little less movement on the catcher side of things, but uh, difficult nonetheless. And like you just mentioned, a great play from Christian to get out of a jam there and find their way back to the dugout for the Jumbos.
Jumbos will look to come out of the dugout and extend this lead when we come back. James Henshin, 2 for 3 in this one, also adding a walk, and he'll stop up for the 5th time in this game. Taking outside, Saveda still on the bump for Bowdoin, and what's been a solid, if hopeless, effort on the mound.
Yeah, he's only conceded one hit here in his 3.1 innings pitched, and it's been relatively easy work.
There. Henshin was looking to add a second one, but it just kind of died out there in the outfield. Good play made in center field by Chai, and that'll be the first out.
Although he's not adding to his hit total on the day right there, important to note with James Henshin, his 2 hits today means he now has a 6-game multi-hit streak. That is truly impressive. After
Wow.
2 for 4 today, 2 for 3 against Bowdoin in both of the previous games of the series, 2 for 3 against Endicott, 2 for 4 Amherst, 2 for 3 Amherst. So red hot right there.
I used this line earlier in the season, but I think I'll do it again. James Henshin, a member of Tufts Investment Banking Club, and guys, the stock market might be down, but I'm investing in his stock heavily. He's been playing great this season. As Smith fouls that one back.
Yeah, that's a guy they're going to need to continue to stay hot. Maybe not that hot, as that would put a little pressure on him, but coming down the stretch here in the playoffs, going to need just hot bats like that to really put you over the hump.
You see it so often in baseball that teams kind of come out of nowhere when it comes to the playoff time. It's just about getting hot at the right time. And if Tufts can do that, who says how far that they can go? For Bowdoin, it looks like maybe they've hit a rough patch, although they are playing a good Jumbo's team, but they definitely need to regroup in their last stretch of the season and get ready for the playoffs as they look to challenge for a NESCAC title, which was surely the goal coming into the season for Connolly and his team. Smith there fouls one off, lined it down the first base line.
Yeah, Smith's got 3 base hits tonight and an RBI, making him 3 for 4. This is his 5th at bat as he looks to find the outfield grass again for the 4th time here tonight, hopefully.
2-2 coming from Saveda. That slider just missed the outside of the plate. It'll fill up here for Cooper Smith.
Another great jumbo at bat, just working the count, being patient, fouling off the tough ones. Just a great job by Smith and Henshin specifically tonight, as well as everybody else. But
There, Smith pounces on that one. That'll be his 4th base hit of the ball game, and he found that outfield grass for sure.
Yeah, it looked like the shortstop for Bowdoin, that is Will Cook, was shaded a little bit further to his right, for the right-handed hitting Cooper Smith, and that was able to find a hole closer to second base that Cook was not able to reach.
Good piece of hitting by Smith to drop the hands and force that one through the gap, and he'll earn himself a base hit for that one. Pouncing on the first pitch is Pavlik. He'll fly that one into center field. Chai over on it, and it'll be the second out of the inning.
how about another first pitch flyout for the stats?
Just in case anybody at home is counting. If they have, they might need another piece of paper at this point. There have been plenty.
If they have, please reach out. I want to know. I've been watching it happen all ball game.
And
Maybe explain why you're doing that too. Yeah.
it's definitely a change of pace from the last time we watched Tufts, Game 2 against Bowdoin, where it seemed like for both teams, every single pitch ended up in a weak ground out to the left side.
That one goes high to Brella, who last time unscathed, although he didn't reach base, grounded out to first, and that was his first at bat not being hit here. Still a chance to enact some revenge, though, as we said.
Not sure. Missed the signal there.
That might have been a timeout called by the pitcher. I'm not exactly sure either. I thought maybe we were going to get a substance check on Zaveda when the ump started walking towards him. That wasn't the case, though.
Some spider tack.
His stuff has been good, but
Sticky
I don't know
stuff.
about that good. Anyways, here's Brella facing the 1-0 and ropes that one into left. That ball's down in the corner, and Connor Brella gets what he deserves. Now he gets the second. Coming home to score is Smith. An RBI double by Connor Brella.
Yeah, it looked like the left fielder Lucas Chai was having a little bit of trouble tracking that ball in left field and then sort of picking it up as it one-hopped the wall out there.
That one just hit on a rope, though, by Brella. Really good piece. Got a pitch that he liked and pounced on it. Fit just had a little, if he was a little more under that one, I think he would be coming home around home base right about now. But certainly he'll be happy with a double here. Jumbos extend their lead 10-2. First baseman AJ Lisco stands in and looks at ball one.
Lisco has a couple strikeouts tonight with also reaching base twice. No hits, but on a fielder's choice and a hit by pitch as well, joining his friend Bralla as well in that category.
Was hit the last time up by Saveda, and maybe that's in the back of his mind here as he finds himself down in the count. 2 outs here, 1 on. Here in the bottom of the 8th. Good pitch there from Saveda, found the bottom corner. It's 0-2. Defensive swing there.
Yeah, that's a great job fighting off a tough pitch there to stay alive and keep the hopes up for 11th run, maybe a 12th.
Yeah, certainly Jumbo's happy with this performance, and they want to squeeze as much as they can out of it. Put up some more hits on the stat sheet, maybe. Here's a chance, and a foul ball back towards us by AJ Lisco.
Bowdoin does have the bullpen up and running in case this inning continues. Looks like that It's hard to tell over there, but it looks like that is Jacob Warren warming up. He has 4 appearances on the year with a 3.60 ERA.
There, Lisco chasing on a high one, and he'll be retired via the strikeout. So Saveda continuing some good work, although he did give up 1 run in that inning on a booming double by Connor Brola. It's 10-2 here now at Saul Gittelman Park, and Bowdoin entering crunch time. They are going to have their last chance when we come back. We got a new pitcher here for the Jumbos, not only new to this game, but new to the 2025 season. Jack Chaplewski out of Dubai here taking the mound. And Seb, what can you tell me about what he's done in previous years?
Yeah, so Jack Chapuski, this is his first appearance on the season, a left-hander out of Dubai, of all places. So fun to see a bit of international representation for the team. Last year, pitched in just 2 games against Colby and Babson combined for 2 2/3 innings, 1 earned run, 3 strikeouts, 3 walks. So we will be watching the command tonight. He is a senior, so we have also seen him in previous years as well. 2023 as well, a couple of games, 3 1/3 innings with 1 earned run in total that year. And as a freshman back in 2022, three appearances, 7 2/3 innings.
His freshman year, actually the year that he pitched the most and did well, a 1.17 ERA, albeit only in 7.2 innings of work. And here, just trying to get out of this one painlessly as the Jumbos have a gargantuan lead over the Polar Bears.
Yeah, this might be a bit of an effort from Coach Stark to just get Chapuski into the game, get him a little bit more appearances before he graduates.
Yeah, he'll have Moriarty coming up first, and then followed by Thompson and Siegel. So we'll have the 8th and 9th and first hitter. Moriarty and Thompson have struggled tonight, so hopefully he can get off to a good start for himself here.
You got to think important to set down those two before he sees the top of the Bowdoin lineup. There, a nice pitch. Curveball found the zone. It'll be 1-2. Although Siegel, the 1-hole hitter who we will see, 0 for 4 so far in this one, as is Board is 0 for 8 combined for the top 2 in the Bowdoin lineup. Pretty surprising considering how hot they've been this season. The 1-2 from Chaplewski runs inside. 2-2. Chaplewski, an interesting arm angle we're seeing here as well.
Yeah, definitely a rare night, like you were just mentioning, for Siegel and Bordez. I mean, 2 guys that have just been unbelievable all season for the Polar Bears. But I give credit to Lapp on the mound.
Most definitely, and some credit due there for Chaplewski as the first batter he faces in 2025 is set down via the strikeout. A nice pitch got Moriarty looking, and it's a dream start for Jack Chaplewski.
Yeah, that was a very clean fastball, kind of down and in, painting a corner there. A tough ball to hit for sure. And Moriarty looked to just gamble on it and not swing the bat. Unfortunately, that gamble.
Thompson looking for a surprise bunt there, and that one ran foul.
Yeah, maybe Thompson looking to keep the ball on the ground this time with 2 flyouts tonight. Maybe that's his idea with the bunt.
Was able to draw a walk the last time up. And here trying to figure out the mystery that is Jack Chaplewski. The 0-1 is taken outside. It'll be 1-1 here.
Probably an interesting approach as a hitter. I mean, a guy that hasn't pitched all season, you know nothing about him, no scouting report. I mean, you're kind of just going in blind, so it's really just a mano-a-mano matchup.
There, Chaplowski gets the best of him. A nice pitch to make a 1-2 here. He's taking control of another count and trying to keep it rolling. As Cal Thompson looks down the 1-2. Left-hander Chaplowski delivers. That one is tapped softly but foul.
Interesting swing right there. Kind of looked like he started to go, then paused sort of midway through his swing, thinking about maybe checking a little bit. Instead, followed through it, ended up pulling the ball way over foul.
Maybe a little bit more defense there by Thompson, just trying to live to see another pitch. As here it comes inside and strike 3. Swing and a miss by Cal Thompson, and Chaplowski has struck out the first 2 batters he's seen in 2025. If that's not a good start, fellas, I don't know what is.
Doesn't get better than that. I mean, that's what you dream about.
Certainly what I dream about, but I throw about 50, so,
Yeah, why aren't you on the team, Noah? We gotta get you in there.
I was barely even a player in Little League. Pinch hitter here as Bowdoin down to their last out. It's Henry Bevo.
Yeah, Henry Bobo did pinch hit over the weekend against Tufts. He
1-0 taken outside by Chaplowski.
now misses away. He recorded one at bat, got on base via hit by pitch, and scored a run.
Hoping for some of that more fortune here. He finds himself up 2-0 in the count. Make that 3-0 as Chaplowski.
Chaplowski making his first mistakes of the night, but that's all right. That's going to happen. See how he bounces back here.
Maybe the pinch hitter Bevo a little more patient as well, trying to make the most of this opportunity versus someone like Thompson the last time up, who that was his 4th at bat of the game. Anyways, though, Chaplowski was able to find the plate. It's 3-1 now. That one fouled off, and all of a sudden, Bevo has Bowdoin down to their last strike.
And that right there is how you bounce back. 3-0 to 3-2, giving himself a chance in this at-bat.
So here's Chaplowski looking to close this one out. The lefty from Dubai. He fires. That one is popped back our way, and this game will continue at least for one more pitch. Here's Chaplowski. Winds and fires and swung on and missed. Jack Chaplowski strikes out the side here in the 9, and the ball game is over. Jumbos claim a 10-2 win here on Saul Gittleman Park, and Chaplowski getting a lot of love from his Jumbo teammates after a great 9th inning performance. A strong performance for the Jumbos overall, and they improve their record here in a crucial NESCAC game as they take the rubber match. For Tate Carmen, Sebastian Gold, I've been Noah Goldstein. JumboCast, thanks for watching, and as always, please stay home safely.
so hypnotic, magical.